going on, everyone? How are you doing today? What I have for you today in this video is I want to talk to you guys about the iPhone X's pricing, because there was an interesting article that I read about this, which the link to that will be in the description below. But the iPhone X is not coming out till next month in November. However, the pre-orders should be starting pretty soon. But the issue is the price point is just a little too high from what I read. In terms of a lot of Apple users, unfortunately, a lot of these people find the price a little bit too high or too expensive. And if you're looking out there on the market and seeing what's the most you can get for the most bang for your buck, obviously, if you're going to spend thousands of dollars on a phone, or at least $1,000 on a phone, then you probably want to spend a little bit more to get the most storage space out there for the iPhone X, which would be the 256 gigabyte version. But that'll be pushing the price even higher. At least this is what I've heard, which obviously that is true in the case. Just check out Apple's website and check out their pricing. But at the same time, there's going to be people that will buy the iPhone X and won't mind the price point. The issue is it always seems to be Apple where people are noticing huge differences and huge drastic changes that people are able to point out. Now, obviously for other manufacturers, we've heard about it in this case as well, but most of the time, for some reason, I always hear it's directed on Apple. Now, why is that? Who knows? It could be because of the way Apple innovates, the way they express their products. And then, of course, people also end up finding faults a little bit easier than compared to other manufacturers. But mind you that Apple is not the only one that is charging this kind of high price point. Now, do I agree with it? Probably not. Like I said before, my Note 8 right here was like over 900 bucks. So that was almost $1,000. And the iPhone X is probably close to that price point as well, depending on which model you buy. And then on the certain model that you buy will also bring in over $1,000 as well. So, I mean, it's really up to you in terms of which phone you want to get. Obviously, a lot of people are sticking with the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 8 Plus, so that way they at least have one of the most recent iPhones out there, but can't have like the very most recent out there, which would be the iPhone X. Now, what do I think about Apple's price point? Well, I will agree that it is a little bit on the pricey side, but the same thing for my Note 8 as well. I felt the same way for the 64 gigabyte Note 8. But I feel like in terms of what I get out of the device and what I get in the operating system, at the end I felt like it was worth it. Now, can I say the same thing for the iPhone X? That I'm not 100% sure, because if you guys have been subscribed to me for a while, you'll know how I feel about the iOS platform. That's why I switched to Android as my main daily driver. But at the same time, it really depends on your opinion. Like for me, iOS, if I wanted to use the iOS operating system on a daily basis, I probably wouldn't use that on a smartphone. I probably use it on like an iPad. You know, as of now, the way I feel is like if I wanted to own a tablet, I most probably get the iPad, because the iPad is just for media consumption and for me to be able to do work. Whereas the phone is like a little bit of everything for phone calls, texting, email, internet. I can do the same thing with the iPad minus the phone capabilities. The Note 8, I'm also to do work on it as well in case if I need to in an emergency. So basically the iPad, I would have it if I needed to do work on the go. And then when I'm at home, I'll just jump on my laptop right here, the MacBook or my Lenovo PC, and just do whatever I have to do. That's it. I mean, I would say that the iPad is good for schoolwork. And then, of course, if you want to do something heavy, intense, such as video editing, for example, then obviously you need a dedicated computer, whether that be a Mac or a PC. Now, in terms of Apple's iPhone X price point, like I said, you'll have to be the judge on if that's worth it or not. Obviously, for certain people, they're going to feel like, okay, for what they need, it's a little bit on the expensive side, therefore they don't want to go with that. They'll either go with the iPhone 8 or just stick with the iPhone 7. So we have options in terms of which phone we want to get. And the iPhone X, I would say you have to find a really good reason on why you want. And if you are a current iPhone user already and you are looking to upgrade from, like, let's say a 7 or a 6S, you know, first, I would say when the phone's out, definitely go take a look in the store, see if you like it or not, because it is a huge drastic change that you have to get used to. For example, no home button. There is no physical home button out there. You have to swipe your finger up in order to get to the home screen. So you got to be able to get used to that if you're definitely considering an iPhone X. Otherwise, if you can't get used to it, my suggestion is you go with the iPhone 8 if you do want the latest and greatest out there. Otherwise, if you're on an iPhone that's older than the iPhone 7, then you definitely can go with the 7 as well. So in terms of the price point, point, obviously it'll drive people away. And this doesn't just happen for the iPhone 10. This also happens for other manufacturers as well. For instance, not everyone is going to want a Note 8. Not everyone is going to want an S8 or the S8 Plus. But for some people that still want to stay with Samsung, they'll probably get like maybe the S7 or the S7 Edge. So that way they're on a little bit cheaper price point. Or they can just get like a basic smartphone. So you can probably go with like the Samsung Galaxy J7 or the On 5. And with Apple, you do have options as well by getting the cheaper iPhones out there. And you can even get the cheapest ones out there if you still want to stick in an iPhone. Just be willing to spend a few $100. If you want to spend like, I guess maybe a couple hundred or at least 100 or over, then you probably want to go for like a low-end Android phone. So obviously this is going to drive some people away in regards to the price point. But Apple's not the only one affected. Other manufacturers do this as well. Even Samsung with their high-end phones. You just have to find a very good reason on why you want that particular device. I found myself a really good reason on why I want the Note 8 versus the S8 or the S8 Plus. Mainly the S8 Plus. I was considering that as well. But the Note 8, because I just love the hardware design. It fits in my daily life because of the screen size, because of the feel, because of the capabilities it has. And that S Pen right there, there's a lot more capabilities with it compared to my Note 4. So that was like a few of the main reasons why I want to get the Note 8, although the S Pen wasn't really included on there until I finally got around to playing around with it. In terms of the iPhone 10, would I get it myself? Absolutely not. The operating system, like, while it has improved drastically, I'm still a little bit on the Android side for a smartphone, but that doesn't mean iOS is bad. I would use iOS for more on the entertainment side. So let's say if I wanted to go on vacation, I'm going on an airplane, I'll use an iOS device there to enjoy my entertainment, music, movies, videos. And then, of course, if I just want to have fun and just put my phone away, then I'll definitely use an iOS device for sure. So iOS is for me on the entertainment side, while the Android smartphone is a little bit of everything else. Work, convenience, and the ability to do whatever I want pretty much. So it really depends on what your needs are, and because of that, you will be the judge and make the decision on if the price point is right for you. If it's not, you can step away and go with another choice that's cheaper. Or if you definitely do want the iPhone 10, go ahead and get yourself the iPhone 10 and you won't be disappointed if you are very into the iPhone as well. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the iPhone 10's price point is a little bit too high? Me personally, for what I want, I would say it is a little bit too high for me, but is it the same thing for you? You decide. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, rate, comment. Also check out the description below for my social media links, Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.